Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. Yeah, 12.3 Celsius. A little cooler. Yeah, it's more September-like for Winnipeg. Okay, now, yesterday, when I was winding up the final edit, I was checking these where the pipes had come up against the cylinders. And if you remember, probably some of you even noticed this. I was noticing that when I was poking them, I think I was using this thing here, and I was poking them down, trying to get them, just right. And when I quit poking, I'd actually made it worse than it was before I started poking. If this makes any sense. So anyway, what you didn't see was that afterwards, I did get everything a little bit closer. The intake manifold and the exhaust manifold pipes closer to the cylinders, and I did put a little bit more extra thin on. And I was looking at it this morning, and it looks a lot better. I'll recompose after, and I'll show you. But today, what we've got to do is there are a few more pieces that have to go on here yet. And also there's the parts that we have to use the photo etch pieces. For instance, we got the S31 that gets glued on, and and that will also be painted green. Excuse me. I think all the stuff that we have to paint the green, we should try and get glued in place. Now, some of these other pieces, like this assembly right here, I'm just debating, would it be better to try and, it almost looks like you're supposed to put it together before you glue it down, but I don't know. I'm just thinking it might be easier to glue it down. For instance, it's this piece right here. Okay, that gets glued on the side of the engine there. Just let me stop it in the right place, of course, like that. Okay. Now this gets put, which is the right orientation? It goes this way. Okay, this just sits right there, and then some of these other little pipes and what have you. When the record button is pressed, things do not go well. It's Murphy's Law. Anyway, I'm thinking that maybe this could get glued down as well, and then we put the smaller pieces on top of it, because a lot of these smaller pieces, as near as I can tell, they would look better if they were a different color. Now I'm noticing in the painting and marking guide here, they got the push rods blue. I don't think they would have been blue on the real thing, but hey, maybe they were. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go and check that walkthrough again and see what they were. But I think they should just contrast. Now this green is fairly light. Okay, that's what it's going to look like. And so I was thinking. Maybe instead of blue, they could be the number 77 gray, dark gray. Then they'd stand out. As for the knobs for the pressure release valves, in the painting and marking guide here, they are red. Although somebody was saying leave them brass, so that's a good idea too. But I do believe that those valve stems, like the photo etch number 12, gets glued onto the V42s, and they're very, very small. They may not actually be seen. Which way is this motor going to be orientated in the hull? It could be that a lot of this detail is going to be on the far side of the engine, and we're not going to be able to see it from the back anyway. Okay, I do believe that the way it is right now, the stern is that way, I would think. Yeah, because the drive shaft comes out the back. That's the way you would think they would have it. Now, mind you, the drive shaft was, I don't think, connected to the propellers. I think it was what you might call a diesel electric. You know, like a locomotive. For a train locomotive, there's no transmission, if you know what I mean. It's in other words, the motor charges the batteries, and the batteries run the motors, and the motors run the propellers. I think. um, yeah, this round thing on the end there, is that supposed to represent a generator? Maybe it is. And now I was thinking it was a flywheel, but maybe it's not a flywheel. Unless it was some sort of a gear reduction thing, you know, maybe that could have been too. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Well, I guess it matters. Yeah, it matters to the submarine, doesn't it? Okay, let's try and get something done here today. Maybe what we'll do is, okay, well, for sure we can glue the S31 in place. I saw it there a little while ago. I haven't lost it. Yeah, let's get the S31 glued in place here, and yeah, here it is, right here. Okay, and it goes on the side. I believe it's yeah, you can actually see where it goes there. You can. All right, and well, at least I can see it. I realize that you're way back at wide angle and you're not seeing detail, and I keep forgetting that. So let's recompose here and try and get these some of these pieces down. I do not want to glue this down and later find out that, gee, I wish I hadn't. So perhaps it might be a good idea to anyway, yeah. Enough thinking out loud here. Let's try and do something. Oh, the sunrise this morning? No sunrise this morning. It's either very foggy or very smoky. I don't know which. I haven't stuck my head outside yet. So, and 12.4 Celsius, I don't want to stick my head outside. Mind you, it's going to be minus 12.4 before we know it. Let's get out of here. Okay, I was mentioning how I got these manifold pipes a little bit closer to the cylinders, and yeah, there's a bit of a gap I notice on this one right here. I don't know if I should try and fill that or not, or just rely on the fact that maybe when I spray it, we're not going to see it anyway. It could well be that we are going to be viewing the engine from this side. Why don't I just check that out and find out? Yes, regrettably, the view we're going to get is going to be from this side. In other words, the way we're looking at it right now. So that means that the detail that's on this side here, we're not going to see it. That's too bad, because there's a lot of nice detail there. Even on the side of the crankcase there. Yeah, we won't be seeing that. We'll be seeing this here. Okay, I was finding that this piece just didn't want to stand up all by itself. At least when I was trying to manipulate parts on it. So, yeah, hence the dollar store clamps here, and they are just very gently holding it in. Don't know if you can see it or not, but there's actually little rubber pads that I've glued into this thing to cushion whatever it is I grab, so I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Now, just want to do a bit of a dry run here. I know we sort of did before, but I just want to make sure that it's going to fit. Okay, as near as I can tell, that's the way it's supposed to go. Okay, so let's. I think we'll just use some extra thin here. Although maybe I could use the thicker stuff. Well, let's see what happens. Seems to be drying awfully fast. Did I grab the wrong one? Oh, now I know what it is. I'm not actually getting a whole lot. I forgot that I'd knocked this thing over and I'd lost a lot of it. Okay, now that should do it. Now, while I was gluing this down just now, I was realizing that I had been talking about making sure I could get the little parts that are supposed to go from here onto the cylinders in place, but I'm pretty sure we can. Okay, that's that. Now we got this piece gets fastened right there. I think I'll turn everything on its side. I bought this little jar of testers. I guess it would be the same as extra thin. Now, remember I was talking about the fact that I was having trouble getting my applicator to, absorb a lot of the glue. And the brush was actually going right to the bottom. But anyway, where am I going with this? What I did was I took this and I poured it into my extra thin. Now I noticed that it is a little bit, you might say, cloudy, but I think that's because when I shook it up, I got a lot of the sediment, which maybe wasn't a good idea. I think maybe I'll have to get a new one. I have two brand new quick settings as well as this one, but I don't have any extra thin. So yeah, this goes back to the 80s. I bought that from Cellar Dweller. Yeah, a long time ago. That was the first time I started using this type of what you might call extra thin. I'm hoping that it's not going to be some sort of weird chemical reaction, and tomorrow when I come to use this I'll find that I've got a jar full of jelly. Anyway, okay, let's put the lid on now so we don't spill it. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's seated. It never fails. I try to make things better and I make them worse. I just wanted to make sure that I got it. Yeah, it's on there. Okay. I think that's about the last thing that we can do now before we paint with our 336. Yeah, I don't think there's any other parts that have to go on this now that I want to have the same color. And then, of course, the bottom of the crankcase is going to have to be painted probably with a brush later, darker. Okay. I think we did pretty good here on this little module. V30 and a V18. We have to make 6 of these. And as you can see, we got to try and, so let me get this out of the way here. I imagine that the best way would be once again letting gravity be our friend and hold these pieces in the helping hands. Here we go again. Okay, yeah, hold them sort of upright, like this. Then we can set this piece on the top there. And there's obviously going to be about 17 different ways it can go. I'm noticing that there's a little tiny, maybe we'll get the macro lens going on. Yeah, there's a little positioning thing here. I think I've got this upside down. I think it's supposed to be when we see it. Okay, let's get the macro lens on, because I don't think you can see what I'm talking about there. Although maybe you can.
Just staying warm until you came.
Hello, Missy. Was it cold out there?
Oh, 11 or 12 degrees. No good damn.
I think I better put my jacket on. I'm gonna put my jacket on, okay, Missy? Yeah.
A strange little species, like an alien.
Well, fall is in the air, isn't it?
Ready?
I'm ready.
In the morning, anyway. The afternoon, it's quite hot. I don't know what the high is today. Is it 19 or 20 or something?
I haven't seen. I know
Probably about the norm.
earlier in the week they were predicting nice weather for the rest of this week, but right now, I don't know. Somebody wants to talk to you?
We've got our shorts on. Morning, Phyllis.
Yeah. You didn't bark at the neighbor today. Oh.
Rainey takes Penny in at 2:15 to the vet, and she gets her weekly shot of water in the back. Penny is showing signs of life. I don't know if this is her 8th life or her 9th life or what, but staging a comeback. But she does look thin, doesn't she?
I was noticing when she was trying to walk, her she was kind of wobbly.
Yeah, she is.
Mind you, so am I. Right, Missy? I'm wobbly too. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there we go. You had to have a little shake? Is that what that was all about? You had to have a little shake?
You must have said okay, because you say that sometimes when it's time to move.
Oh, that's right. So she speaks English.
Well, she has about the same number of words, I guess, as a 2-year-old human.
So you're as smart as a 2-year-old.
She'll pick the word out without necessarily knowing the context.
Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off. Okay, Missy? Yeah, you say goodbye to your fans. Say goodbye to your fans. Yeah. Yeah. Lick, lick. Missy the dog. Missy the dog. Okay, I'm going to use a pair of self-locking tweezers here. Otherwise I'm going to end up dropping this thing. Or maybe pinging it off into oblivion. Must be a way to pick this up. Okay, I think I've got it. Okay, now what I was trying to talk about before, you see on the bottom there, there's what appears to be like a little box of air. Well, I think that is supposed to help you position this on the end of this piece like this. I wonder if I could just grab it differently here. Maybe because I'm going to want to be releasing it later, the self-locking tweezer is not a good idea. Oh, it's upside down now. I'm just going to push stop here for a minute. You know what? I just realized I'm doing this backwards. I was hoping to be able to let gravity be our friend here, but I can see that that's not going to work out. And rather than, let's get this out of the tweezer, or out of the helping hands rather, I'm going to have to refocus obviously. But doesn't it make a lot more sense to go like this? Yeah, let's just reposition here very carefully. Okay, before we get going here, just for perspective, okay? Is that a little hair or something there? Okay, you don't want to glue that in there. Now, what I'm thinking of, I'm going to take my extra thin here, and I'm afraid that if I was to touch it on here, it might stick to the applicator. So maybe I should moisten this. I know it's not perfectly in focus, but I wonder, would it stick? Let's just try it. Maybe I don't have enough. But the plastic there, the plastic will meld now. Alright, now we're going to want to stick this part. In other words, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of grab onto it. And then when I turn it up, it should stay together. Does it look like it's in the right place? No, it slid. It's kind of... No, it's not in the right place. How do I grab hold of this now? You know what? I've got my self-locking tweezer in the wrong place. I'm just going to recompose here a little bit here while I still can. Okay, now can we pull this back? There, I do believe it's basically in the right place now. Okay, now if I can do 5 more like that, we more or less got it. Is that thing supposed to be maybe twisted a little bit, a few degrees to the right? Or maybe I'm just getting too fussy. And the last one. I think the last one went the best. The glue is still a little bit soft. I don't know if I can twist this one around or not. It's not straight. All the others are basically straight, but this one here is, I was just noticing after I mounted it in this little black piece of foam here. There, it's better. I think it's better anyway. And this one also has got to go just a little bit. Yeah, being as the glue is still soft, now's the time to do this. Probably about 15 minutes ago now, maybe not even. Neighbor comes by with Missy again for Missy's afternoon treat. They come by about 3 times a day. First thing in the morning, which you saw, and then just a little while ago, and then they'll come by usually between 5:30 and 7:30 in the evening. And yeah, Missy gets a little treat. Okay, now, when they were out for their walk, it rained. So, and they mentioned that when they came to the door. So I thought, oh my, there goes my ride. But I noticed that the sun is shining right now, so I think I better get out and, well, I can. We've done pretty good here today. You know, I've been hoping to get our photo etch pieces in place, but hey, we've got a lot of other stuff that I forgot was going to be very time consuming, so we're going to have to deal with the photo etch tomorrow. Or maybe the next day, just depends on how it goes. There's no rush for this thing. Thanks for watching, everybody. All being well, we're going to see you tomorrow.